welcome to APBA Offshore Races. Woo! Would you drive, please? Easy. You waved, didn't you? I wasn't. Nothing to do with that.
It's probably going to be one of the best boat races in history.
All right, Dave, I cannot see a thing.
Jack, you're okay.
I know.
Welcome to St. Petersburg, Florida, a beautiful up-and-coming city on Florida's west coast. It is a waterfront downtown that has assembled 140 boats. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen, and welcome to what's being billed as the world's largest ever offshore powerboat race. And it's exciting because the UIM and APBA have combined. That means there'll be world championships decided in every class, and in the factory classes, they're also going to have the addition of deciding national championships. You're in for a great show today. You'll see a band of outlaws on Florida's wild, wild West Coast waters, and the showdowns that'll send them home with bragging rights.
And oh, those factory classes are just as rowdy. In Washington, it seemed Benny Robinson had won every challenge. He took the checkers in Factory 1, kept his cool while he was insulted and his boat protested. The F-160 passed all its inspections, but in a strange twist, Benny himself is not here, and neither is the F-160, leaving the door open for another boat.
Now the fallout from F1 trickles into F2. Jim Arvis was Benny's biggest rival in F1. He'll still drive that Warlock, but he'll also drive a Fountain, replacing Benny in the F-275, joining Mitch Miller. Oh, the intrigue! The same driver in a Warlock and a Fountain. At any rate, this big, fast boat would still be considered the favorite.
Now, the Super V National Championship has been locked up by these guys, and they say they're even faster coming into the world. But as we were reminded in Washington, these supercharged competitors push each other very hard, and fast in Super V doesn't always last. At the end of the race, the checkers can be the only thing on the trailer that doesn't need repair.
The V-Bottoms don't have a monopoly on high drama in these APBA World Championships. The Cats are on the loose and ready to settle the season. In the F3 and 4, we have the largest fields for both classes ever assembled in the history of boat racing. Now remember, they're going to be going for both national championship and world championship titles. The APBA's primetime players are ready to battle like we've never seen before. When we left you in Washington, the Don Q team told us this winning Cat had probably run its last race. They'd won the national championship and expected to have their new boat ready for St. Pete. But look, Big Blue is back, but the old Cat may need new tricks against the new high-tech Super Cat.
In the season-ending manufacturer's points race in Factory 1, Warlock from California, a dominant season. Factory 2 was much closer in determining the premier manufacturer in performance boats. Factory 3, Motion, a great Cat manufacturer. And finally, Factory 4, a brand new design cutting edge.
Our first factory class is taken to the water. We'll join them on the course in just a moment. Stay with us.
Go grab your Mountain Dew and come on back and enjoy the rest of the race.
The APBA is sponsored by SpeedMonster.com, the presenting sponsor of the APBA Offshore Pro Series 2000. Floors as we look out over downtown St. Petersburg and out toward the famous pier where the course is. 140 offshore boats competing on this course, and it's a doozy.
You can say that again, Dick. This course has been completely redesigned this year for maximum competition. It's a modified figure 4. Turns 1 and 2 right in front of the spectators on the pier. Very tight turns. Go into the only left-hand turn in the course. That's turn number 3. And right after turn 3, a short straightaway into turn 4, which is a 120-degree turn, a real challenge. Then to a long straightaway from turn number 4 to turn number 5 into the longest straightaway, which is the front straight.
Here's what you need to keep in mind as you watch these World Championships. Each class will run 2 races. The best average finish wins the championship. The emphasis is on consistency. If there's a tie, it'll be decided by looking at total laps completed. And assuming that's equal, the fastest combined time for the 2 races wins the title.
Now, in Factory 1 class, we have an all-star lineup. After a season that left this class bloodied but unbowed and highly affixed with controversy, we have top teams. These are newcomers to racing, but they are cutting their teeth very quickly. In a class dominated by a single power plant, the Merc Cruiser 500 HP, the competition is intense, the tempers flare, and the excitement is extreme.
The fastest boat in the history of the F1 class won't be racing in the Worlds. The APBA has suspended F-160 throttleman Benny Robertson, and the boat is not entered here today. So now the F-191 Warlock is bound to be the fastest in the class. Lance Henriksen and Jim Arvis have celebrated several times this year and are aiming at the national championship. Their main competition may come from another Warlock, the F-102, and the Twisted Chicks, who surprised everybody in Washington.
In the first race in Factory 1, it was a shootout. The F-102, the little Factory Warlock, took an early lead, but the Raising Cane, one of those low-profile Phantom boats, stayed right on his hip.
They were closing it down fast, too. That pack never really broke away from the leaders. Typhoon was the closest to the camera on that last shot. Look at them as they come into the turn. Now, everybody wants to try to get the inside groove. Obviously, not everybody can get there. The one who gets there first gets the clean water. Everybody else has to fight it.
Now, a surprise move, the Raising Cane team, brand new this year with a brand new boat, took the lead from the F-102 Factory Warlock. A real surprising move by a rookie team.
No question that this was a battle from the start. Chicks, the Twisted Chicks, and 13 other boats ran sluggish with problems they say were caused by bad fuel.
Which left Raising Cane to cross the finish line in first place. And that left a lot of question marks in the competitors' mind. Did Raising Cane run that good, or did the bad fuel hold back the rest of the field?
Well, while they were asking that question, Typhoon had moved up through the pack, and Typhoon, a very appropriate name for an offshore racer, I might say, came in second place. So the points battle was set up for the big finish. That would be the race to be held later today. Raising Cane first, Typhoon second, followed by Total Laser Care in third.
It's a feat that's never been accomplished in offshore racing history. 6 V-bottom world championships in one season. And as you've seen, Team Fountain is even more dominating this year. Fountain's World Championship racing technology is incorporated into every sport boat we build. At Fountain Powerboats, when we race, you win.
We welcome you back to St. Petersburg, Florida, and none too soon, because here goes the green flag on race number 2 for the Factory 1 boats, and it is a start to behold. A huge field, the largest the field ever assembled of F1 boats, and look at it right off the start. Raising Cane is trying to establish a lead.
Now, Raising Cane had something to prove. They wanted to show that the first victory was not a fluke, and boy, are they making a point. They came off the start trimmed perfectly. They are negotiating this course like professionals. I don't care how short a period of time these guys have been racing. They are showing the rest of the field how to do it today.
Green Goes is in second place, followed by Moral Hazard. There you see the leader, Raising Cane. Look at them. They look perfectly relaxed out there, totally in control of that boat.
Now, a field of Warlocks, Progressions, and every other hull known to man is trying to chase them. It's very choppy when you're not in the lead. Now, we're watching the Green Goes go through in the F-191 Warlock. The Warlocks are canceling themselves out. They're racing so closely that they're giving an advantage to the lead boat, who's out in clean water.
There is competition throughout this entire field as they look for that clean water. There you can see the Warlock was cutting away. There's the Twisted Chicks. They had a very bad start, but they are starting to move up into the field. They are looking for the inside. There's an airborne boat, Moral Hazard, catching some air as they fly high. Granville and Eubanks on the 02 Warlock. Their teammates are battling for third in the 191.
I just want to get to third, man. Give me some room. Maybe Green Goes will let us get us some slack.
Green Goes yet another Warlock, and the Warlocks are canceling each other out. They're not working as a team. They're working against each other.
Here's a good battle. Compute this on the right. Too Cruel is on the left, and you can see they're very evenly matched. It's a matter of position going into the turns. Meanwhile, Raising Cane getting the checkered flag. They have cruised to another win. Green Goes will come in second place. You can see the happiness on the winners. Actually, let's face it, they had double wins. They won in Isla Mirada, and they won both races here. So congratulations to the crew of Raising Cane. They've got a lot to be proud of. Number one, the World Championship, which they have just won with that checkered flag flying high, but they also won both races here and the last race in Isla Mirada.
In our final results, it was Raising Cane over the pre-race favorites Team Warlock and Green Goes. Our final points tally shows Raising Cane at 238 points, easily outdistancing the F-191 Team Warlock.
Feels awesome. This is what APBA racing is all about. It's our rookie season. We can come out, we compete with world champions. Everybody has a shot. Yep. We took advantage of it.
Little Junior, he made us win.
Well, little Jackson Miller has been the good luck charm. He's been to 3 races, and Dad has won all 3. The young man is only 3 months old.
Now, losing the battle, but obviously winning the war in the Pro Series points totals, Team Warlock at 1171 wraps up what amounts to the national title in the Factory 1 class.
We have a national championship. Looks like we're going to be second in the world, which just makes us the first loser, but we're still happy.
The suspension of Benny Robertson brought an unexpected driver change to the F-275. Jim Arvis will replace Benny, but won't do double duty, driving and throttling. That's what Benny did. It means owner Mitch Miller will do his own throttling for the first time. This boat has been the most dominant in the APBA, but Mitch could lose the points battle if he slips up today. There's a huge field to contend with, 27 boats. The best contenders are most likely the F-257 Utz Fountain, and watch out for the Andersons, father and son team.
In order to win here, you're going to have to beat 26 other entries. That's right, 27 entries. A field packed with cigarettes, fountains, formulas, Sutphens, and every other high-performance boat manufacturer is here trying to get the bragging rights for the winner.
This is going to be a sight like has never been seen before in Offshore Factory 2 racing. 27 boats, and they're lining them up out there. You can see the pack of boats as they come down to take the start. Number 57 going out in front. That is the favorite, the F-257. They are establishing dominance right off the bat, and this is an advantage to them because you've got 27 boats. As you can see there, a huge field, all aiming into turn number 1. Some of them, I wonder if they're going to make it, Rich.
What a majestic sight, Dick. And as we said, the pre-race favorites are out in the lead, and it's amazing how you can get through a field like this and get to the lead so early in the race. The Awesome, as we thought, was going to be right up in the bunch, and they certainly are. And, of course, the 2 factory fountains, well, they are 1-2 right now.
And, of course, they're starting off turn number 1, so they come into that turn and make a big sweeping turn right into turn number 2. Then they finally get out on a short straightaway. That's the time to try to establish dominance. And look at the Utz team. They are doing the job.
You asked what Benny Robertson is worth. He's probably worth the difference between first and second right now, because this is the first time that the Utz boat has pulled such a clear lead over that Coast Guard fountain.
But look at what's happening out here now. Utz is being challenged by the fountain. The Coast Guard fountain on the outside can keep his speed up as they head into the turn, and he has grabbed first place. That is going to be good for the finish. 98 also coming up, passing 57 for second place. So there you see the finish. The team Coast Guard takes the win in race number 1. Treadwell Motorsports is second. What a challenge they had.
This man was throttling his brains out today. I thought Lance was in the boat with me. I couldn't believe it.
Well, you know, finally we got a... Arvis was my biggest competitor in Factory 1. Now we've grouped up, and here's a Warlock guy and a Fountain guy, and we ran together in Factory 2 and won. So it's been a... We worked 2 weeks after all the changes and X dimensions and still came out here and won. So we're real excited.
Factory 2 all done after the first race. The final in just a moment.
So what am I doing? I don't know.
Number 2, and right off the start, it's the Sutphen and Utz battling for first. This is really a surprise, Rich.
Of course, the Sutphen is a non-step bottom boat, and to get this kind of a lead at the start means they had a lot of acceleration, and they were placed perfectly to gain that inside line on the first turn.
We look at the battle for third place, and there you can see Twisted Sticks in the middle, and they're being challenged on both sides. Look, either way, you got to put that throttle down and try to take on somebody.
Bracketed by a pair of formulas, the formulas are serious about winning this World Championship today. and the racing is so tight. The sub finish you can see falling back. That's probably because in the longer straightaways, some of the other holes are a little lighter and a bit quicker with their step bottom. Now, that coupled to the fact that the stuff has been way on the outside of the course has cost them in this race.
98 charging in the second. 50 and 77 are battling for third place. It is tight still on this course. Nobody is really absolutely setting the pace out here. Sutphin still hanging in there, but slowly falling back as Moral Hazard has now moved up to fifth. They are just behind the Twisted Sticks.
Meanwhile, you see the two cigarettes, and here comes the F275. They got a terrible start, and now they've got an awful lot of waves and wake to eat as they try to inch their way back up to the lead.
Number 57, the Utz team still trying to hold it in and keep it going because they know right behind them, once again, as we saw in the first race earlier, the F298 is closing them down.
Now, if the F298 stays where they are, they will win the World Championship. They're running a very smart race right now, staying behind the F257, but not letting them get too far away.
There's the F275, the Coast Guard Fountain, and they're trying to move it up in there as we look at Talk Story and National Marine, and they are locked in a battle.
Yes, it's choppy all around this course. Now, as we start to lap some of the back markers, it's a constant battle in each turn because there are wakes and waves and wind chop for these guys to negotiate. They've got to be very careful. A spin out here will cost you first place, second place, whatever, and the World Championship.
And there's a lot of communication on the boats.
Slow down. Slow down. Slow. Go around. Stop. Get around this boat. Nail it.
Well, basically, F275 has just been eliminated from the race because they spun out on the course and they had to negotiate to get back on. Meanwhile, we're seeing a battle between the 95 and the 45. That is for 8th place.
Trace Martin on the throttles in there, and that big cigarette. He's doing very, very well considering all the turns and the short straightaways. That big boat likes big water. But this boat right here, the Treadwell Motorsports, boy, are they playing it cute. Staying right on the hip of the lead boat, knowing that just by staying where they are, they've got the World Championship.
Yes. World Champions.
Well, with those grunts and those groans and that happiness aboard that boat, they get the checkered flag.
And their final results, the Utz Quality Foods, well, they won the final, but Treadwell Motorsports won the overall for the two races, and therefore they won the World Championship. AC Treadwell Motorsports with 224 points, eking out a win over the Utz Pier 57 176. Twisted Sticks, oh so close in third place.
And I have to tell you something, the winners have to feel proud because at least they beat a huge field.
We realized we had it about the fourth lap when I saw Lake Cumberland nowhere near us. And we just kept going and stayed a steady pace, nice behind us, didn't try to catch them, so we didn't break down.
Yeah, we didn't have to fight for us. We just kept it together and knew Cumberland was back there someplace.
In the final points for the season, we see Treadwell Motorsports winning the Pro Series at 1,245 points over 1,219 for the F275 Lake Cumberland Coast Guard Fountain. And that the Benny Robertson controversy had to cost. What a season.
Well, St. Petersburg is just heating up with a lot more racing to come, but none of it would happen without a lot of coordination. Vital part is race communications. Here's how it works.
A typical race really will have around anywhere from 60 to 100 radios.
Check, 1, 2, check. Radio check, 1, 2.
Human life is definitely at stake.
Each one, we got one upside down, turn forward.
I'm sending one diver now.
Bearcom basically will provide all the radios, repeaters, accessories to hold a successful race. Check out this there and we'll get you all fixed up. Looks like we're going to be getting a green radio.
Yeah, stand by, Will.
Typically I need 4 to 5 story building to put the repeaters up on a roof to get good coverage. A repeater is basically a glorified relay station. It senses your transmissions from your walkie-talkie, and then it will rebroadcast it at a higher power over a wider area.
That's it, guys. When you're facing away from the repeater going out, you tend to have a little breakup. But once you face me, even at the diving level, you're coming in very strong.
You need pretty much 100% communications 100% of the time. And so that's why I take my job very seriously.
Like your speed in the V-bottom? Super V's, take the course. Next.
Welcome back to St. Petersburg, Florida. Dick Crippen along with Rich Flores as we look out on the course. This is earlier footage from the Outlaw A races.
The Baja Outlaw class's premier class, the A class, easily the fastest and most exciting boats to watch in the outlaw classes. These boats are virtually identical. They've got full race, single V8 engines, and they are capable of speeds up to about 100 miles an hour. Team Energy taking first place over Team Irresistible, 9:02 over 4:15. Those are the final Pro Series point standings for the year.
And IMCO wins the World Championship. In Outlaw B, well, the winningest fountain in APBA, the B96, the Motorola, out-dueled, muscled the B1 out of Sarasota, Florida. The B96 won both of their races to take the World Championship, Muscle finishing second there, and also second in the Pro Series point standing. Motorola again on top there. So they had a great season in Outlaw B.
The C action was equally intense. In the first race, the C-78 was doing a sterling job until, unfortunately, mechanical gremlins fit, and they wound up on the sideline. That left the racing in the second race to be anybody's ballgame. C1 Rum Runner doing a fine job out of Illinois. Unfortunately, they fell just a little bit short to the final winner, which was this boat right here, the C4 Mountain Dew. Jim Arvis on board in there. He is a winner no matter what kind of boat he drives.
And you can see that Mountain Dew took the points as well as the World Championships. So they're going to consider this a top-notch event. No question about it. They loved it. Outlaw E highlights, well, you can see it was deck to deck. No question about it. You saw the Warlock nearest to you. And look at the spin out by the E10 Velocity. That's what happens when you put those boats out on the edge like that. Sometimes you lose that back end. E91 right here, along with the E96. They're challenging. They're trying to get up into that field. It was a great day in both races. Warlock Powerboat, the E96, goes on to take the World Championship over the 2 days and the Pro Series point standings at the end of the season. Congratulations to sort of a first and second place sweep by Team Warlock. That wraps up our outlaw classes. Now, the last time we saw these Super Bs, all three broke because they pushed each other so hard in smooth water. In the world's consistency is king, and the team that runs the smartest races will be the winner. These guys do want to put on a show. It could be the last time the supercharged V-bottoms compete in the APBA, so somebody's probably going to want to finish their swan song running full song.
That is so unusual. Look at these boats. Citgo Superguard Scarab, FountainUSA.com, Matco Voyager, Citgo Superguard Scarab number 2, and of course the Teague entry from out the West Coast. In the Super V Light, we have the non-supercharged versions of the V-bottoms. Fountain Pier 57, Pier 57 Fountain from the same team. Tivoli, watch Joe Scroll and Peter Meyer.
Now this is a look at the race the other day, the first race of the series, and there you can see right off the bat we get the FountainUSA.com. They are challenging for the lead against Citgo.
The closest racing among the fastest V-bottoms in the world. And as usual, the top 3 favorites are all right together coming out of turns 1 and 2. But the FountainUSA.com had too much in the early going. The Pier 57 team, they're hooked up side by side. It's virtually a billboard for Pier 57, who's doing an outstanding job in Super V Light.
Yeah, you can't separate those guys out at all. They're battling each other for it. Look at all the mix on the course. And you know, you kind of lose it a little bit looking from the side. When you look down, there's some of the most beautiful shots as those sprays spread out on the beautiful Tampa Bay waters off of the pier in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida.
Art Lilly and Jeff Harris in the lead in Super V. They have all that power, all that experience. These are the most competitive monohull racers in the world. No doubt the elite team. Obviously, the Superguard having problems had to stay way outside.
Now, in the non-supercharged Super V Light, the number 1, Pier 57, takes the points lead going for the World Championship in race number 2. In the supercharged Super Vs, number 57 takes the win in the first race.
So going into the finals, our final results, FountainUSA.com has a commanding lead over Matco Voyager and Citgo Superguard Scarab. In the Super V Light, Fountain Pier 57 over Shockwave and Tivoli.
Can your...
If you like this, it's only going to get better. We learned what the APBA has in store for the future at a news conference that kicked off these World Championships. The major announcement and a big breakfast brought teams and cameras out. The APBA is headed to Daytona.
We're going to have the best powerboat show, performance powerboat show, and APBA Offshore Grand Prix that any of us have ever seen.
Those races will be in April. They'll be held on the lake inside the Speedway as well as off the famed Daytona Beach. Hey, the Vinoy Golf Course in St. Pete brought a lot of folks involved in the APBA to a charity golf event. There's Marilyn DiMartini. She follows the APBA as a writer. She played well, unlike a few others.
I'm the best here, no doubt about it. Absolutely, with hands down the best.
Bart's definitely the best. He hits it more than anybody else, and he thinks that's when you win.
Now, part of the Pier 57 team knows this game. Look at Fred. They help raise money for the Pinellas Association for Retarded Children. Park got another hand from proceeds to a Major League boat racing party put on by the John Q team. All in all, some nice off-water events and some great weather to host them in.
But now time to get back to the water. The Super Bs have started their second and final race. SV 57 leads into turn 1. That fountain.com has been the combination so far this week.
Come on, folks, turn!
Jay Johnson and Nigel Hooks as they're trying to turn that big Citgo Super Guard boat. I guess they can stick down in the water. There's no question about it. But, boy, when they're flying across the top, they are getting the ride of a lifetime.
Boy, they are struggling in there. There are so many turns on this course. And that boat doesn't want to come around and turn on some of these tight, sharp corners.
Look at turn number 1 right here. And there you can see the battle. And look at how the water's churning up behind these boats. When you get these fields like they are, and then the boats start to separate, the water just stays in a constant churn.
A Super V Light 71 Shockwave really putting on a show here. What a surprise. Right on the number 17 Tivoli. The 17 Tivoli, that's from Long Island, New York. That's Peter Meyer and Joe Scrow, a top team. The number 1 Pier 57 boat, though, they know they just have to finish to get the World Championship.
And right now, they're riding in third. In the Super Bs, number 57 leading in a sweeping turn around turn number 2. Look at the ride of that boat. What a gorgeous shot that is as the sun shines brightly over this field of boats, and they are enjoying all of the good water.
Now, the number 81 boat is prepped up on the inside. They are staying with the Super V leader, the number 57. As a matter of fact, they've snuck by on the inside, and the FountainUSA.com, they ran a little too conservatively, and they've left the door open for the number 81 boat to get past them. Not so in Super V Light. The number 71 boat, now that is Doug Lewis in there with Rich Propoli. That is an older Fountain, and they have taken the lead in Super V Light.
Number 2 Pier 57 Fountain, they are out, Rich. Going down in the water, the SV 81, look at them. They're losing power. You predicted they had a little problem on that boat, and there it is.
So much attrition in the Super V classes.
Jeez! Come on, folks, turn!
Well, it finally did. The Super V 21 Citgo Super Guard passes the number 57 out of turn number 2. The 21 goes on to take the win, but number 57 is the world champ. The Pier 57 teams team up for a celebration. They finish second in their races, but get the best average finish. They do have a right to celebrate together. No question about it. A lot of happiness.
The Citgo Super Guard Scarab winning the final, but the overall championship went to FountainUSA.com by 10 points.
I'm telling you, this was a race of all races out here today. We've led first couple of laps, got behind that Citgo boat, and he started picking up the pace. So we followed him, I think, about 4 laps. And on the last lap, I said, Jeff, if we don't do it now, we're not going to get a world championship. So we went off and left him.
Art and Jeff must have confused the number 86 boat. They passed with number 21. Same story in the V Lights. Pier 57 loses the race, but wins the world championship on the tiebreaker.
We knew we had to pass the Tivoli boat to do the world. We got to them. We passed them. I thought, here, we need to coast now. But my throttle man over here, the way he is, he throttled it down. He said, we're going for 1.
It's great. I just want to thank Joey Griffin for keeping my motors together. That's all we had to worry about today, and they did. They ran great.
The Bees have finished. Time to see the Cats prowl the water.
In the factory classes for Cats, factory free. These are twin Mercruiser 500 HP powered catamarans. Speeds about 115 miles an hour. We see the F-316 roll-offs having a lot of problem in the turns, rolling right over. Roll-off, rolled over.
Boy, they are lucky that boat came back right side up, but that air gets underneath that tunnel and it'll flip those boats over. It'll turn them over. If they catch a sponson, too much air under there, that's all they wrote. There you see your winner coming home with that checkered flag, and a happy winner it is aboard the Peppers boat. They take first place, get 200 points. Team Tellium at 181, John Kiley and crew in second. Quite a finish for the World Championships, and it goes to the Team Peppers.
Team Peppers ran a very strategic race. There was an unfortunate incident, as we saw. The roll-offs went over in a turn, and as you can see, the boat hooked. They couldn't collect the boat, and she went right over. And even though they had half safety canopies, not full canopies, unfortunately, Danny Henke was injured in this rollover. His condition is much improved, and we understand that he is on his way home to be with his family.
In the F4 race, again, a huge field of boats. And those cats were taken to the water and loving it.
Factory 4 boats love this course. It was very calm when they raced, and the twin outboard powered cats, oh so quick and oh so nimble. They like the turns, and they like the speed.
Appropriate, the Cat Can Do was right out in that lead position and trying to hold on to it. You're going to see action all throughout this field as those boats try to harness the water and the air, and the one to do it, to take it home, is Flowmaster. Flowmaster finishes with 202 points. In the World Championship standings, Cat Can Do finished in second place.
Cat Can Do had a great season, but Flowmaster had too much for him on this long St. Petersburg course. Now, the overall Pro Series standings, the Blondie took the national win at 1,051 over Citrusshine at 1,013.
The Super Cats are starting to stir, some headed to the course. A good rivalry brewing between the new boats and the older cats you see here, which brings us to the lowdown.
To your left, Randy Sissom has been building fast cats for years on the European and world circuit. A new boat he built for Fountain debuts today.
When I started this new class, it was going to be I thought it would be a successful class, but I never expected it to take off as quick as it did and be received as well as it is.
What you're seeing is everybody's starting to step forward. They want the latest and greatest that fits the rules.
Tommy Bahama boat that debuted in Washington was the first new Sissom APBA Super Cat, and now the Fountain Mercury joins the fray. There are others in the works for next year.
I think for the class, the way it's going, I think the boat is especially built for the class. And it did come out of a dedicated mold, unlike some others I hear that are getting approved. But so for the rough water and everything, I think it'll be a good all-around race.
Offshore Powerboat Racing's biggest race, the Super Cat World Championship. We'll be back as the big boys take the course.
And Rich Lures in St. Petersburg, Florida, and look at the crowd that's assembled on the famed pier in downtown St. Pete. They're here for some racing, and they are getting their fill.
Now the Fountain Mercury team said goodbye to its old 36-foot skater and its national title hopes when it hooked in Washington and missed the buoy. This is the team that started the season red hot with 4 wins in 6 races. You've heard about their new boat. Even though this will be its first race, Hugh Fuller's been testing it for months. The boat they campaigned all season was 6 years old. This new beauty, brand new out of the mold this summer.
So the boat's accelerating a touch better, and you know, and then we seem to have a little better top end speed, but of course we're going to have to carry the weight in this boat, so that makes a big difference also. It's not handicapped yet.
He was referring to the APBA rulings that slowed his boat down and opened the door for this team, Don Q, to win the last 2 Super Cat races and the national championship. They hope to have a new boat ready for the Worlds.
Won 2 races in a row, so Felix and I were talking about it after the last race. We were a little apprehensive of getting out of the boat, period. So maybe it's a stroke of luck that the new boat's not ready.
On to the 43 Extreme team that sat out the Washington race. They've shown up with an additional sponsor, Carlos and Charlie's, and this team has done a lot of studying and testing. It's a rookie owner trying to crack the APBA's elite. Dan Jackson knows he has a real mountain to climb.
The most important thing is by missing the North Carolina race was the right thing for us to do. We've really got a great setup now. We've been able to really tweak and tune, move the weight around, shift the weight around, get the right props for the setup. And yesterday when we were testing it, it's by far the best we've ever ran, so we're real excited.
And by far the best and most exciting racing powerboats in the world, the APBA Super Cat. Look at the WHM Motorsports, that's a brand new boat. Relief Band, a real comer. but you got to watch out for your favorite 76 Hydrogen Media Fountain. That boat is quick. Don't forget Nemshov. Here in the first race, Nemshov, with another brand new Sism boat, took an early lead. Now, that boat is the only boat running direct drive Bootsy drives from Italy. Everybody else running the Mercruiser number 6 drive. There is some controversy there. As we know, this class has seen penalties assessed in terms of weight to levelize the competition. Great racing, fast racing on a course that these boats really love. Look at how tight it was between Relief Band and Carlos and Charlie's number 43. Both boats trimmed beautifully in these calm conditions, but Relief Band with veteran Charlie Haynes on the throttles taking the inside lane prevailed in that competition.
And the Extreme team, now known as Carlos and Charlie's, is back in third place. And you know, I think back to the beginning of the season and the amount of boats we had racing in the Super Cat class, and I look out here today and it's an awesome sight. There you see the Team Yahoo, again another good running boat.
Now that is a surprise. Hurley stepped into the throttles in Team Yahoo, and she sped right up. Here's another surprise. Don Q. Cristal not leading. Tommy Bahama, again, mechanical problems. Every race this boat has run so far, it has broken down.
And 24 moves into first to take the win. A great run.
We spend a lot of time just focusing on the course, not making any mistakes, and Tommy Bahama, we were gaining on them. So we felt pretty good, and unfortunately, I guess they had a problem, but you know what? We came out on top, and we're happy.
So here's the results from race number 1. Relief Band taking the win. Team Yahoo right up there in second place. The field spreads out from there.
Story coming up in the Super Cat race. This flag is blowing for a reason. It's choppy out there. Whatever worked in the first race won't work in the second. Coming up to the all-important final race in Super Cat. The pit crews, they're working on the boats. The drivers and throttlemen, they're huddled together. Why? A friendly exchange of ideas? I don't think so. The psych starts at the beginning of these events, and it only ends when the checkered flag drops.
That's Billy Malf of WHM wagging his finger at his friend Pat Patel. Underdogs and favorites have traded places. This guy, Jammin Jones, Yahoo team, struggled their first 8 races. How'd they finish second in the first race here?
That's a really good question, actually. Now, Curtis is in Russia adopting kids. I ran with Hurley Stepp for the first time. We were both kind of nervous running with each other. Went out there, gave it our best, and ended up in second place. Can't ask for any better than that.
Told me the boat had got in second place, and I was ecstatic, and my wife told me, I told you couldn't throttle that boat. It's been you all along. So I'm wishing them the best of luck today, and I think they'll do pretty good.
Charlie Haynes plans to run a smart race. Those engines look like they're ready. Remember, Relief Band won race number 1. Looking for a surprise? Here's WHM's Joey and Baby. The new dad looks confident. Here they go. Let's take a look as the green flag drops on the course for the big Super Cat. Tommy Bahama is trailing just a bit.
2 out in front. What a terrible start.
On board the Extreme team, Carlos and Charlie's boat. Dan Jackson not real happy with the start that boat took as they come down into turn number 1. That all-important turn number 1, the 76 Fountain, a brand new boat takes the lead.
Wow, number 76, you've got JT, Johnny Tomlinson on the throttles in there, and of course you've got Hugh Fuller on the wheel. A tough team, a brand new boat. Now you've got to watch out for Tommy Bahama on the outside.
And they are way on the outside into that turn. And look at this battle for third. Relief Band inside of Yahoo! Yahoo! Starting to lose it. You could see it in the rooster tail as the front end lifted up, the air got underneath it. He had to back it off a bit.
He was climbing that rooster tail. Those rooster tails are oh so powerful. Look out! It looks like the corn again has gone over. This boat out of California, both driver and throttleman, father and son, are okay, but the boat is upside down. What a close call that was, leaving the Fountain number 76 out in the lead, but hot on his tail. This is the Relief Band. This is the boat that's looking for the World Championship. Well, for winning the first race, they need the lead to assure a first place in the World Championship.
Charlie Haynes really feeling good about the way that boat is running, but Yahoo is still in the contest and not holding back at all. Now Haynes has fallen back a little bit. It's WHM Motorsports now challenging. There you can see he's past him. Charlie Haynes and the Relief Band is off to the right side of your screen.
Now the number 76 being hotly pursued by WHM, Billy Morph and Joe Impressia, the new dad. WHM, a brand new boat for this team, is really cooking right now. On the outside like a predator, Tommy Bahama. He has stayed outside, stayed away from the close contact. WHM taking an extremely tight line. Look at him crank around on that that turn, and that gives him the lead over number 76. That was a tremendous move there. Tommy Bahama's using a lot more top end. He knows he's got top end speed. He's staying outside, and he's making up his speed on top speed in the straightaways.
Boy, oh boy, did we have a race out here. This is spectacular. There's the number 5, WHM. There you can see Tommy Bahama nearest to you. That beautiful boat, brand new, built especially as a super cat, one of 2 racing out here that can have the same credentials. And look at him coming on down the stretch.
You can see the legs he has at the long end of each straightaway. That's why he's staying so wide. He knows he's got top speed. He knows he doesn't have to mix it up tightly in the turns. That's a tremendous advantage. Here you can see on board, he's going by the WHM. WHM cannot hold him off on the long end of the straightaway.
Boy, that outside has been a good groove for the Tommy Bahama boat. We always talk about the outside boat being able to hold up its speed on the turns because they're not trying to cut close on the pins. They hold their speed up, and look at further back in the pack. Yahoo still very much in there, still battling extremely hard is Relief Band. We have got a race all throughout.
Now this is surprising. Don Cristal, a pre-race favorite, is behind Carlos and Charlie's. We can see that something is going wrong in the Don Q plan. That team, the national champions, should have been very competitive in this race. They are not up to snuff, not on song today.
Now we look at the number 41, Tommy Bahama. Look at the ride of that boat. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think they could ask for anything more out of that boat.
Now that they have the lead, they can pick the line they want. They no longer have to stay so far out, and now they're picking up some distance in bunches. Look at Relief Band. They are full of competition. They've got problems. They need to get somewhere closer to the lead to assure a world championship. Yahoo running very well. Hurley Step has gotten by the WHM. Now Yahoo is in second place over the number 5 WHM.
Boy, the WHM Motorsports really setting a blistering pace out here. And look at the battle now between the brand new Fountain Mercury 76 and Relief Band. Relief Band just hanging in there now, trying to close it in on WHM Motorsports. Billy Moff and Joey Impressia very well aware of their position in the field.
Tommy Bahama has gone out of the race. Team Yahoo has taken the lead, and they won the race.
Team Yahoo has a lot to be proud of. They fought off some of the best WHM Motorsports before the weigh-in. Now in second place, Relief Band in third. Now that's important. Relief Band needed a second for the championship.
Tried to get by WHM, and they kind of slammed us in turn 3. So, I don't know. We tried. Hope we put on a good show for everybody.
Yahoo has the world checkers, but they did an extra lap after they crossed the line, and if they're cutting it close on weight and fuel, they could have burned off to make the boat too light. It may not be over. Their boat was 10 pounds underweight, which is a clear violation of APBA rules. Your boat must meet or exceed the minimum, so they've been penalized 1 minute. And it means Relief Band, Charlie Haynes and Russ Wilkin are the new world champions thanks to what's become a second-place finish in today's race. This team was a little upset that WHM had closed the door when they tried to pass, but they're happy now.
Here are the official results for race number 2. WHM wins the race, Relief Band second, and Yahoo falls to 5th with the minute penalty.
So it means the 2 race standings shape up this way. Relief Band wins with a 1st and 2nd. Yahoo is runner-up with a 1st and 5th. As you look over the rest of the top 10, you know there's never a dull moment in the APBA.
Oh, I can always tell when you're in a good race because your mouth is dry by the second lap.
We worked with the boat a lot, and Mercury worked with us. The motors were strong, and we peaked for the world where we should have.
I knew that with the boat weighing at 10,000 pounds, these other guys weighing 88, 9,500. If it was flat out there, we wouldn't have ran like we did today. So I thank that guy up above for making it a little bit rough today.
I would like to say that for Super Cat racing, this is the end of the beginning.
And the beginning of the celebration. True champions getting done, as it should be. And that kind of celebrates the end of our APBA Offshore Pro Series season. It has been a great one for sure. What a great place to end it in St. Petersburg, Florida, on a just gorgeous weekend. We hope you'll join us again next year for more racing action, and who knows, we may be coming near you. We've seen sunsets from San Diego to St. Petersburg. For Rich Lors, I'm Dick Crippen. So long. The APBA is sponsored by Millennium Fuel Corporation, the official fuel supplier of the APBA Offshore. And by Liberty Coach, the official motor coach of APBA Offshore. And by Citgo SuperGuard Motor Oil, the official motor oil of APBA Offshore. Citgo when it counts. The APBA is sponsored by SpeedMonster.com, the presenting sponsor of the APBA Offshore Pro Series 2000.